This is the Shotgun City Sheriff, the law himself, Clayton Clark.
This is the young titan, Aaron Atlas.
Hey, this is Matt Brannigan.
This is the war-bound hellhound, Bo Sword.
This is your favorite drunken pro wrestler, a.k.a. the Bud Light Brawler, Dalton Davis.
This is Lizzie Six.
This is Jake Something.
And this is the jaw-jacking, back-cracking, God-created all men equal, and then he made me the sequel, Rohit Raju, and you are listening to the Spot Show Podcast.
Spot Show Podcast.
The Spot Show Podcast.
The Spot Show Podcast.
Spot Show Podcast. Hell yeah.
The Spot Show Podcast.
The Spot Show Podcast? Yeah, that's right. I stuttered. Shut up.
You know, if I hear the word WCW, ECW Siege one more time, I might actually kill somebody because, spoiler alert, they say that a lot on this episode of Raw that we watched. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Spot Show Podcast. This is an independent wrestling podcast with a few pit stops along the way. I am one of your hosts, the Dr. Seuss of the commentary booth, Dickie Wabash. That man right over there, he is leading the siege of the WCW ECW Alliance. That's Michael Madrox over there. He's my wonderful, wonderful co-host. Man, I'm going to kind of bury the lead a little bit here. This Raw that we decided to watch, this is so of the time, but I think in a good way. Like, this is like, I look at this and I'm like, yeah, this is 2001 WWF. It had that feel. It made me excited, almost to the point of where I may or may not have had the thought of, I kind of want to watch the SmackDown that followed this.
The SmackDown that follows?
Because, again, not for a review, but just...
Oh, just to watch it.
Yeah, just to watch. Because, like we've established, I don't...
You know what's...
I don't know the invasion.
You know what's underrated during this time? Velocity and Heat.
Velocity didn't come around until 03.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, but Heat was around.
Heat was underrated at this time.
Yeah, Heat was good. I do remember that. But... by the way, I also want to give a quick shout out to Mr. Positive Vibes Only, Brian Parker. He felt the need to correct me. I am aware that Benoit was not around during the invasion. I misspoke. I thought that he was. I was looking at the wrong time period, but come to find out, Benoit was not around during the invasion. So, you win, Mr. PVO.
Why wasn't Benoit around?
Neck shit.
Oh, that's when he has neck surgery?
Yeah, something like that. Brian actually worded it because it's the line from, let me find the message. It's the line from the Don't Try This at Home. I ruptured a disc which fragmented into my spinal column. You know what I'm like?
Yeah.
That unlocked a memory. Like, everyone says that I've had surgery 5 times in my left knee, or how you learn to fall off a 20-foot ladder.
Countless concussions.
I remember I ruptured a disc which fragmented into my spinal column. But hey, talking about my spinal column here, you know, the spinal column supports you. Speaking of support, I just want to give a shout out. This episode of the Spot Show Podcast is brought to you by Elite Pro Wrestling and Yoo-Hoo, but you're going to hear a little bit more about them later. Unless, of course, you know the spiel. Head on over to patreon.com/MadBash Studios. That $5 tier, that's the magical tier. You're going to get this show completely ad-free. But dare I say, we are firing on all cylinders over on that Patreon right now, everywhere. There's a ton of stuff coming to the Patreon. We've got a couple of new shows in the works. We are going to be posting Ascend the Throne, which, forgive us, we're not going to talk much about Ascend the Throne because the day that we are recording this, Ascend the Throne has not happened yet. So we don't know who the MadBash champion is, but you in the future, you now know listening to this, congratulations on him, whoever it was that won. We don't know yet. But anyway, over there on the Patreon, there's a bunch of stuff that you can do. Also on the $10 tier, we've got Shit Show, where you can hear some behind-the-scenes bloopers. We've got Past Bash, where you can take a look at some of the old content that I have created. We've got MadBash Wrestling exclusives. Here's another thing, too. Over on the Patreon, if you are on at least the $5 tier, you get free phone wallpapers. That's what I'm talking about right now. But if you're not, subscribed, then you can buy the phone wallpaper separately over on our digital store.
We got, what, 3 of them up right now,
there's
right?
4 of them now. Yeah, there's a MadBash Wrestling one, a Studios, one for Clayton Clark, and one for Jared Savage. So you can head on over there, show some support for us and those guys by purchasing those phone wallpapers. But if you're subscribed, then hey, you get them for free. Speaking of free, listen, I understand it, guys. We get it completely. Sometimes you don't have the extra ducats to toss our way. That's completely fine. We go through what the American Dream calls difficult times. You can still support us by going over to the Patreon, completely free. You're still going to get some really cool behind-the-scenes photos, stuff like that. You can also go over to our YouTube channel. We're doing more over on the YouTube channel. MadBash Wrestling Uncut is over there. There's 2 matches up right now. The first round of the Ascend the Throne tournament is going to be available on the YouTube page. You can get to that YouTube page by going to madbashstudios.com, following the link. Also, go to your favorite podcasting platform, leave us a 5-star written review, hit a share ski with someone that you think would enjoy what we are doing over here. But again, the big one, patreon.com/madbashstudios. You know, that's only just going to get longer and longer the more content that we pump out. It's the blessing and a curse.
It's going to be an hour-long podcast itself.
Of just plugs.
Just plugs.
Of just plugs.
We'll have to do it monthly, the plug show.
Yeah. So, you know, I said it during those plug skis there, but forgive us because as of this recording, we are 24 hours removed from Ascend the Throne. So we're going to talk about a little bit here about our excitement for it. But again, it's already happened for you guys. So congratulations to fill in the blank for winning the Ascend the Throne.
I really liked when they did the one move.
Yeah, when they did that one move and
that led to the,
that led to the 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I really enjoyed that too. Ascend the Throne is something that I can't believe that we're just a little over a year we've been doing MadBash, and now we're doing our own show. So, our own wrestling show rather. So shout out to IWAU for helping us out with that one. There are going to be more events on the horizon if you pay attention here, because we are going to be doing more MadBash shows. We don't know when, we don't know where, but I think, and then there's also going to, we announced fill in the blank is going to be defending the MadBash Wrestling Championship against No Joke Johnny Poke April 27th at EPW Tag Team Warfare. So that's going to be a really dope one.
I got to ask you though.
Go ahead and ask me.
What's higher right now, your nerves or your excitement?
I want to puke very badly.
As long as we're on the same page. I'm super excited, but I am nervous as shit.
Yeah. So, but like we said, as of this recording, I want to fucking puke. But by the time you guys are hearing this, hell, it went off without a hitch. Boy, I sure hope it is. Hey, speaking without going off without a hitch, let's talk about the invasion right now, brother.
WCW and ECW sure did invade.
The ECW and WCW alliance. This is an alliance that will take down the WWF. The WCW and ECW alliance are going to destroy the WWF. And the WWF is in trouble because of the WCW ECW alliance. You know what they're going to do? They're going to destroy the WWF because they are the ECW WCW alliance.
You forgot a part.
What did I forget?
It's the WWF's fault that ECW and WCW came together to make this alliance to destroy the creation of the WWF.
We're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here, but that opening promo, man. Yeah, this took place on July 23rd, 2001. They're in Buffalo, New York for this one, for this episode of Raw. This is, of course, the Raw that took place after the Invasion pay-per-view, which, hot take, man, the Invasion pay-per-view was not that bad.
I really enjoyed it.
I did too. I think that people shit on the Invasion pay-per-view because of what the Invasion was of itself. But this is what's going to be curious here, is that I truly do think that I am going to go back and watch Raws and SmackDowns now through the invasion because I want to see what all the hubbub's about.
Like through everything through Survivor Series?
Yeah, I'm really thinking about it. And this is just in my own personal time.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, just to have on it. But I mean, also at the same time, like, I got to rewatch House of Dragon season 1 before season 2.
You gotta watch Tough Enough.
I gotta finish. Yeah, I gotta finish The Bear. I have to watch The Bear season 2. I have to start Shogun on Netflix. I have like 3 or 4 shows right now that like I really need to start watching. But
boy, you picked a wrong time to be wanting to start TV shows.
I know.
Between all the gigs we have coming up.
Yeah,
there's nothing.
I also have to start watching I Think You Should Leave on Netflix because I'm literally going to see Tim Robinson in Chicago, and I've never seen... I'm going with a couple of friends of mine, and my one friend, she's a huge fan of Tim Robinson.
So you don't want to be the goose out.
I just don't... I just want to... Like, I know of Tim Robinson, but I've not watched I Think You Should Leave. And the only thing I know about I Think You Should Leave is the Pay It Forward reel that I always see. You've seen it, where he's in the drive-thru and he's like, I want to pay it forward. And then he pulls around real quick. I'm doing something. You've not seen this?
No.
Dude, you can't go anywhere without seeing that fucking bit, dude.
I've never seen it,
And then there's
bro.
the zip line bit where he keeps like riding the zip line, and it's a sketch comedy show for those of you that aren't in the know, but
I try to hide away from pop culture and everything on my days off.
I don't know why, though, man. Pop culture is fucking fascinating. Dude, speaking of pop culture, there's something that I want to get into. We're going to see how this goes. I might get into it on Paid Show, but this Kate Middleton shit that's going on right now with this photoshopped photo with her kids, Jesus Christ. I know you probably don't give a fuck, but it is... it is... really something to behold. Dalton Davis, you're live on the Spot Show podcast. How are you?
Never mind. I didn't know we were recording. I just came to shoot, so probably not best that we do this one that actually goes live. If you want to hear me shoot, though, please join the Patreon. You can listen to Spot Show. That's the infamous one where we all shoot on people.
Or Paid Show. You should probably get
or Paid Show. You know, that's fine too. I'm just tired of people with the last name Poke not carrying their fucking weight. MadRox.
What's Poke got to do with it?
No, I didn't say Poke. I said Hoke.
Oh, Hoke. Oh, I thought you said. I was gonna say don't be shooting on the nomad of MadBash, Johnny Poke.
Oh no, I'd never shoot on Poke. At least Poke knows how to show up and work.
Hell yeah, he does. All right, brother, we'll talk to you.
Sounds good. Peace out.
Later. I knew it was going to happen. Clayton called me before we recorded.
Clayton's getting the schedule down.
Yeah, Clayton knows now. Clayton understands that we record on Mondays, so like he understands when to not call. But anyway, yeah, this Kate Middleton shit is like my new favorite obsession. That like I've really gone down the rabbit hole on this and like done a bunch of research and whatnot. And it's fucking crazy how people can find theories about just nothing.
That's how conspiracies work, bro.
Nothing. I love a good conspiracy theory. I don't subscribe to a lot of them, but I love to look into conspiracy theories, man. JR and Michael Cole on commentary for this one. They run down a couple of the matches we're going to be seeing tonight. We are going to be seeing Undertaker versus Rhino, which, oh my God, on paper, that sounds fucking awesome.
Yes, it does.
We are also going to see Trish Stratus versus Tori Wilson in a spanking match.
The first ever.
Oh, first ever spanking match.
They had to hype that up, brother.
Only thing I really got to say about this intro, man, is that this is my Raw intro. It's the night to the light, it's to be the dawn and volleyball. It's your all.
Fireworks, arena full of signs.
I miss signs, man.
I do too, dude.
I know they're around still. And I know that we talked about this whenever we did that Raw back in 2000.
But they're not like they were.
Yeah, like
I think if you come to a wrestling show, if you don't have a sign, you can't come in.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. That's fair. That is very fair. And then there are like confiscating signs, which I mean, if it's like super offensive and shit, I understand why you would do that.
Yeah.
But like, there was a fucking big veto sign in the crowd tonight. And I don't know why.
We'll get on the sign of the night a little bit later.
So we start off with a promo. We have one thing I wanted to touch on too. They showed the same FDR World War II
Just followed it up with some still
intro.
shots.
They just added screenshots from what happened at Invasion, which for those of you that don't know what happened at Invasion, you can go check out the podcast from 2 weeks ago. We do a pretty in-depth breakdown of what's going on there, which, yeah, by the way, don't listen to this if you haven't listened to that one, so that you can kind of see some of the through stories, you know what I mean? So yeah, Stone Cold is coming to the ring with both of the McMahons and Paul Heyman.
Did you have a problem with this entrance, though?
I did have a problem with this entrance. What the fuck was the music he was coming out to?
I don't know.
This wasn't the
This
cricket
wasn't
theme.
Disturbed.
No. I think what they did, if I remember right, is they took Disturbed away after the heel turn, and they gave him like some kind of transitional theme until they went to the Crickets theme, which the Alliance Crickets theme is not number one, because number one's going to be Disturbed, but I'm going to dare say number two.
I'd have to agree with you.
Oh my God, it's so good. Jason V's going to agree with me on that one because he's actually sung praises for that.
Stephanie McMahon Hemsley, though, dressed like the preppy girl trying to be hard at the school function.
That's the best way to describe Stephanie.
It is, ain't
the
it?
entire Invasion is that she's just like, I'm hardcore because I'm wearing this hat backwards with ECW on it. That was a good Stephanie McMahon, actually.
That was.
JR with a Dickie Wabash ass call of the night already. As they're coming to the ring, JR says, Stone Cold is a first-class asshole. It's just, I was so blunt, and I just fucking loved it. So yeah, they get in the ring. The crowd is just fucking red hot. They are just fucking livid that Stone Cold did what he did. Why? Tell me why.
Why did you turn heel twice in a 6-month period?
Not even 6 months, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking, what was it, April to June?
Yeah.
This took place, or no, July, sorry.
I think that's what killed it so much. Like, if they would have held off on him turning heel the first time to now.
You know, Stone Cold has said in interviews that one of his biggest regrets is that during WrestleMania 17, he didn't tell Vince, watch the stunner, and then shake the hand, and then boom, hit Vince with a stunner. Because I don't even really remember what the Stone Cold heel run was up until Invasion. Like, I know that it was like him singing Kumbaya and like hugging Vince McMahon, which we'll get into him hugging Vince.
Him
in a
and
minute.
Kurt Angle acting like the jealous adopted sons. That was it.
Is that what it was?
That was all it was.
Man.
It was more comedy than heel.
So basically, this entire promo on Stephanie's behalf, anyway, is her finding 15 different ways to say that the WWF is dying.
Brother, I watched this promo and I got the great question. I wonder how many times they said WCW, ECW, or WWF in this one promo.
How many?
I went back and rewatched it and counted 28 different times those phrases were said.
So 28 different ways of saying this company is dead is essentially what
between
was
her,
saying here.
Austin, Heyman, and Shane.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not counting when commentary was doing it during the promo, too.
Yeah. And then another through line that you're going to be seeing all night is they love to call it the siege. The siege is taking place. The siege is taking place.
This was like the awkward moment when they didn't know exactly what they were going to be.
Yeah, because the Invasion was over. The Invasion pay-per-view happened, but the Invasion storyline was still going on, and they had to emphasize so much that, like, listen, we may have lost last night, but like this ain't over. Like, this ain't over. Like, they weren't like, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here, but like that's what is so crazy about it is that it's like the WWF guys really weren't as downtrodden as they should have been.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They were still all like, we're the biggest, baddest motherfuckers.
Which made no sense, but did you notice Paul Heyman was wearing an Anarchy Rules VIP badge?
He always did back then.
I know, but it was an Anarchy Rules one. Like, I know that he would always wear a VIP badge, but this one specifically was Anarchy Rules. There's just so much heat on Austin here. He gets the microphone, and he just basically starts explaining that it's like, I don't feel appreciated. I'm pissed at Vince McMahon. He's been hugging Kurt Angle. And this is the start of...
I'm a jealous, needy redneck.
Pretty much. This is the start of the paranoid Austin.
Yeah.
Like, that's why he turned heel, was he was paranoid. He's like, I know Vince is grooming Kurt Angle. And then he's like talking, and he's like, everyone wants to know what's wrong with Austin. And then JR goes, he's an asshole. And Stone Cold says, I know that Vince has been calling The Rock, and I'm not going to be kicked around by these fans anymore. I'm one of the biggest icons in the history of this business. Blah, 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 blah. He says that the reason that he jumped ship was so that he could face the best competition that there was. And then about
they already fired Buff Bagwell at this point.
Yeah, Buff Bagwell is gone.
So what's he talking about?
Yeah. Did you see the Dark Side of the Ring with Buff?
Yes, I did.
So I'm starting to wonder what is going on. I am trying to learn a Buff Bagwell voice because his voice is so fucking funny.
I never knew about the Shane Helms ice bottle.
You never heard the Shane Helms ice bottle story?
Nope.
I've heard it before.
Did you?
Yeah, Shane Helms told the story. He told it much differently. You know what? I'm going to make probably something I shouldn't say with a microphone in front of me right now. But Shane Helms has, I was a big Hurricane fan back in the day.
Oh, me too. I was a Sugar Shane fan too.
Sugar Shane.
Gregory Helms.
Oh, Gregory Helms
was
underrated.
The best.
However, dare I say, Shane Helms might be one of the most petty, bitter individuals in independent wrestling, or not in professional wrestling.
I don't see petty or bitter. I see more trolling.
Is it though?
Just from his personality, I think it's more trolling.
It could be. Maybe he just plays that role really well.
Like, he just doesn't give a fuck. I'm a dickhead.
Like, what annoys me about him is that he was one of those guys that talks so much shit about WWE, and then now he works for WWE, so it's just like, you fucking...
Everybody does that when they lose a job.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Kurt Angle comes out, cuts off Stone Cold. Basically, they're just going back and forth. He's like, don't you stay on that ramp, Kurt Angle. You're Captain America. You're patriotic. Blah, 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 blah. Angle finally rushes the ring. They fight to end the segment. Stone Cold runs away. And the McMahons...
We call that powdering in professional wrestling.
They do call that powdering. The McMahons and Paul Heyman are holding Stone Cold back as Kurt Angle's in the ring, just being Kurt Angle. Now it is time for the blast of the night by the JVC Super Loud Boombox gimmick.
I was hoping you would write the JVC Superbox gimmick because I've always fucking wanted one of those big, ridiculous CD players for no reason.
I don't remember what it was called, but I'm just
Since
calling
the headbangers started coming to the ring with them back then, I've wanted one, and I never got one, and it made me so sad.
Yeah. So I'm just calling it the Super Loud Boombox gimmick. They're basically just highlighting RVD versus Jeff Hardy from the night before, which I disagree with you. That match was fucking awesome. Then we cut Van Dam is backstage with the ECW guys, and he's bragging about the Alliance. You know, he's bragging about how we've got the hardcore title. We won last night.
Can I just throw out, I've never seen 7 individuals with a camera in front of them that looked like they never wanted to be there to begin with at one point in time.
And Tommy Dreamer is doing a really bad job of trying to be enthusiastic about it. Like, he's talking to Raven, Mike Awesome, Dreamer, a couple other, I think Justin Credible's there, like maybe 2 or 3 other people. And he's just like bragging about his hardcore title. And he's like, I'm gonna show Matt Hardy tonight. So then we immediately cut. Matt Hardy's on his way to the ring for a hardcore title match against Rob Van Dam. And as if one Hardy in a 24-hour period fighting for a hardcore title wasn't enough, Matt Hardy, European champion at this time.
They gotta do everything together.
Did not realize Matt Hardy was European champion. Jumpstart, RVD has a... He's getting into the ring. Matt Hardy hits a baseball slide. Matt Hardy then immediately goes under the ring and gets a ladder. Then we just see a few basic ladder spots. There is a spot, though, that popped me bigger than shit. And I had fucking flashbacks to the time that I almost threw a chair into the crowd. Fucking Van Dam Matt Hardy is holding the ladder, and Van Dam jumps up and spin kicks the ladder. Matt Hardy throws it. It glides off the top rope and looks like it's going to fly into the fucking front row.
That's fine. They sat there for a reason, man. You can't get sued by that stuff. Look at AEW.
Exactly.
But, like, dude, when did Matt Hardy ever go to Europe was my big takeaway from this match.
You remember... That's what I don't get, man. Like, they would just give the European... Remember, like, D'Lo Brown, greatest European champion of all time. Do you remember the ads that would be in WWE magazine of him? He's so European, and he was, like, wearing a beret and had, like, a mustache on.
Yes. And he'd be, like, eating a croissant or some shit.
He is so European.
Man.
Brother, we're looking at 2 future ECW champions in this ring right now.
That hip toss to the tailbone says all you need to know about this match.
Off the top of the ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Matt Hardy climbs up to the top of the ladder. Van Dam cuts him off. They're up there fighting. Hits a fucking hip toss. Van Dam lands square on his fucking tailbone. The fact that Van Dam can still move is fucking beyond me. Because, like...
It's the weed.
It's gotta be something. Tell me your secrets, Van Dam, because Jesus Christ, I've seen people you look at people now like all hunched over and shit. Like, I'm not saying that Van Dam was like constantly known for being the crazy guy, but like you look at someone like Rey Mysterio now, for example, where his knees are just fucking shot from that high flying style. Van Dam can still fucking go. And, like, I don't know if it's the fucking THC or what.
It has to be, dude.
I think it's also just a matter of flexibility. Like, he's always doing the Van Dam lift and shit. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, I don't know, man.
You know what really popped me in this match, though?
Whenever he just randomly pushed Teddy Long onto the ladder.
Not that part. That did, too, but... When he goes under the ring to get the ladder for the first time, and they have 4 fucking ring aprons for no reason. They have a Raw, a WCW, a WWE, and a WWE Live event one. I'm like, why?
Yeah, why do you do that? Why do you do that? So, fucking back and forth in this match is pretty solidly back and forth. Van Dam sandwiches Matt in between the ladder, and then just pushes Teddy Long.
That's our future general manager, dude.
I know. He's about to make a match with these two.
A tag team match against The Undertaker.
The Undertaker. Van Dam goes up top. Matt Hardy is still sandwiched between the ladder. Hits a 5-star frog splash for the win. It was I don't understand the Teddy Hart or Teddy Long spot. I don't get it. I don't know why he did it. So he just essentially just pushed Teddy Long.
Teddy Long had to get his shit in too, bro.
I gotta get my shit in, player.
Job security. Totally if I take this ladder tonight, right, I'm gonna be GM of SmackDown in a couple of years. Mark my words.
I promise it, pal. So we're now backstage. The Dudleys bump into E&C. And, you know, the Dudleys are trying to brag about how we won the main event last night, guys. We won the main event. And E&C are like, look, the only reason that you won was because of Austin. So then they challenge him to a tables match. They're, you know, let's go back to our old TLC days. Let's do a tables match tonight. The Dudleys versus Edge and Christian. About that time, Booker T walks up. And he says, hey, you say Stone Cold's the only reason that we won last night.
Tell me you didn't just say that.
Tell me you did not just say that. That's not true. I'm Booker T. So I'm going to challenge you. You find another partner. We're going to make this a 6-man tables match tonight. And then Christian makes the most ham-handed Mr. T joke I've ever seen in my entire life. Wasn't even a joke. He just makes a reference to Mr. T. And that fucking triggers Booker T for some reason. So then Bubba Ray speaks up and says, hey, then why don't we make this elimination? Everybody's got to go through a table. So then there you have it. Tonight, the main event has been set. It'll be E&C with a mystery partner versus the Dudleys and Booker T in a 6-person tables elimination match.
When you think about it, this match was really TNA wrestling with Edge.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, this match got booked in like 09 in TNA. So now we're backstage with DDP with an obscene large bucket of water in front of him. Kanyon comes in. He's talking about how great he is. I'm the Invasion MVP.
Showing off a new shirt.
Because who better than Kanyon? He's got the, like you just said, he's got the Invasion MVP t-shirt. On the back it says, who better than Kanyon? They're basically just talking each other up. DDP's like, yeah, we knew Stone Cold was in on it, bro. because he's the one that suggested that I kidnap Deborah to get everyone up and going. And it's just like, oh, yeah, I like your shirt, by the way, man. I'm going to go on Shark Tank and try to see if I can sell those. So then that segment just kind of ends.
Who better than Yoga?
And now it's DDPY, bro. We're giving Scotty Riggs teeth. Lance Storm versus Albert for the IC title. It's a match. This is
no. Fuck this match. You know why?
Because you're dealing with the X Factor.
No, you're fucking not. Albert comes out to the most generic, unproduced cover of the X Factor theme I've ever heard in my life, and I almost threw up hearing this.
Your love of the Uncle Cracker theme makes no sense to me.
It doesn't have to make sense. True love just happens.
You know you're dealing with the X Factor.
Like, dude, I got so happy because I heard that. You know you're dealing with the X Factor, and then it cut into some bullshit I've never heard before in my life.
It was a weird network dub. It absolutely was. And, like, I'm really trying to figure out, like, exactly what it was. Because we talked about this a couple weeks ago, is that, like, you expected everything to be network dubbed, but it's like Disturbed wasn't, Roland wasn't, but I think that they dubbed over American Badass.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know, because there was a sign in the crowd.
It depends on what we're watching, though. Like, some Raw shows and WCW shows, they don't have dubs.
Yeah.
Some pay-per-views, they do.
Like the fact that
they
didn't dub ICP off Nitro or whatever it was.
But
no, they dubbed them on the pay-per-view, but not
on Nitro. It's like they pick and choose, like, oh, well, this episode could have it. We don't want to mess with it.
They just gave it to a fucking unpaid intern and said, hey, go through here and just pick and choose. Yeah, this match is really, it's just your standard big man, little man match. There's some pretty good shit in it. I mean, it's pretty common. Oh, this is for the IC title. I don't know if I mentioned that. About 7-minute match. Mike Awesome and Hugh Morris run in. Off of the distraction, Lance Storm hits a super kick on Albert. X-Pac comes out to help Albert, and then the locker room just clears out. Lance Storm is the new IC champion, but the WWF is standing tall in the ring. My biggest takeaway from this, though, is that for some reason they played Jericho's theme, and I don't know why.
Because Jericho was out there.
But Jericho wasn't in the match. Like, why did they not play Lance Storm's music? He won.
Because the WWF guys were standing tall after the brawl.
Okay, well then play Albert's theme. He was the one in the match.
Fuck Albert's theme. My biggest takeaway is Bob Holly's done signing autographs at WWF New York and was there. They should have played his damn music.
Yeah, this is true. By the way, I think that you somehow triggered my Google Home out in my kitchen because I just heard it talking.
That's fine. They want a hot take.
One of us did. So now in the back, Kanyon walks in as Stone Cold is with the McMahons and Paul Heyman. He's just being Kanyon, excited. And Stone Cold goes, "What's that shirt about, son?" Is like, well, I'm the MVP. Who better than Kanyon? I'll tell you who better than Kanyon. Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then he goes, okay. Well, from now on, I'll start saying who better than Kanyon, and then I'll start saying Stone Cold Steve Austin. So
just don't want my ass.
Yeah, Stone Cold basically cucks Kanyon, and it's really fucking funny. Then another backstage segment. Get ready because there's going to be a couple more. Stacy Keibler and Tori Wilson are backstage talking about their tits naturally.
And who Jeff Hardy wants more.
Yeah, pretty much. Which I don't like. I think they continued the Jeff Hardy Trish Stratus love thing into 2002. Because, I remember one of the last things Jeff Hardy did before he left WWE in 2002 was, an in-ring segment with Trish.
It was up until Jericho and Christian started teaming together.
Oh, yeah. Hardy might have been gone by that point, though. No, he wasn't, because when was Raw Roulette?
Because that's when Trish turned on Jeff.
You know what? I want to do the review of Raw Roulette.
The first one?
Yeah. I remember it being kind of good. I'm not saying that we're going to do it next week, but we might do it down the road. I just wanted to put a pin in, I think, that we do Raw Roulette.
Cyber Tuesday.
Oh, that'd be a good one. So yeah, they're just talking about how they're going to beat the fuck out of Trish tonight with that paddle. Now backstage, another needless segment. We've got
number 3 now.
3 in a row. We've got William Regal and Tajiri. William Regal is pretty much saying that it's time to start taking back what's theirs. You know, you got Raven tonight. Go out there and beat Raven. I'm sorry, I need to do more of we've got to fire up the troops, Tajiri. It's time that we take back what's ours. War Games! So that's pretty much that segment. Segment number 4 in a row now.
You mean they did 4 backstage segments back to back?
4 backstage segments in a row. That's why I said at the beginning of this was so of the time.
So the 4th segment, we got Edge and Christian, also known as Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, going up to Kurt Angle.
Yeah. Well, you don't know it's Kurt Angle, but they're like talking off camera. They're trying to find a partner for tonight, and they're like, "Who better than you, man? Probably Kanyon." But we need you. I know that we don't always see eye to eye, but tonight we think it'd be good. You join us in this tables match. You're the perfect choice. Yada yada, blah blah blah. Pan over. It's Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do this match.
Now, is this before or after they went on their 3-way tag team shit?
That wasn't during the invasion. That was right before King of the Ring. Because you got to remember, King of the Ring was Angle, Edge, Christian, and Rhino. Am I right about that?
I don't know.
Because Rhino was with Edge and Christian, and then Kurt Angle was kind of involved too. And then Kurt Angle fucking almost killed Shane McMahon. Tajiri versus Raven. This match is just kind of there.
Yeah. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was just a match.
Yeah. Starts off with Tajiri just kind of out wrestling Raven and hitting him with kicks and blah, blah, blah. Just being the Japanese buzzsaw, just strikes and strikes. Raven gets on top. But then Tajiri gets back in control with some more strikes. Then Raven cuts him off and takes over. That's literally the match. Like, that's all it is. It's just back and forth.
I mean, technically, it's the match of the night up to this point.
To me, there's an argument to be made.
My argument here, though, is Raven never having a mic in WWF.
Yeah,
was such a disaster.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like this is going to be kind of controversial, especially considering the spanking match. But this is my -7 of the night.
Really,
this match just did nothing for me. This match was just fucking boring. The one thing though, they just keep driving home the fact on commentary that it's like, yeah, WCW and ECW, they won last night, but the siege is still going. The siege is still going. We're going to win in the end, guys. Don't worry. We're rallying the troops.
They won the battle, but not the war.
But meanwhile, it's like they have the WWF Championship. They have the IC Championship and the Hardcore Championship, which they keep making a big deal about those 3 titles, but it's like, what's the fucking Hardcore title in the grand scheme of things, So prestigious.
It's bigger than the European at this point.
Honestly, booked better, yeah. Tajiri goes over with a buzzsaw kick. That's pretty much it. We cut now to Paul Heyman, and he is in the back hyping up Rhino, and he's saying, if you can beat it, you have to beat The Undertaker, because if you can beat The Undertaker, what that's going to do for us, it's going to be so good for us, blah, blah, blah. And Rhino's just standing there stoic.
Actually, he says not even to beat The Undertaker, just hurt The Undertaker.
Yeah, you got me there. Yeah, hurt The Undertaker, do what you got to do.
Gore.
Yeah, gore. Then we cut to another backstage segment. A lot of back-to-back backstage segments tonight. We got the APA. They come up to Kurt Angle, and they're trying to hype him up. That's all these are, just people being hyped up. They said, you need a beer. So they give him a beer, and he's like, Kurt Angle claims that he's never drank before. So he takes a drink of the beer, and he's like, man, this is good. How long have they been making this stuff?
And they just look at him like he's crazy.
Yeah, and then he finishes drinking the beer. Up next, we've got The Undertaker versus Rhino.
And straight out the gate, this match pissed me off.
Well, I say you tell us why you were pissed off after we hear a word from our sponsors. This episode of the Spot Show podcast is also brought to you by Elite Pro Wrestling. Here's the thing about Elite Pro Wrestling, right? You have them to thank for the Spot Show podcast in many different ways. Elite Pro Wrestling gave MadBash Studios our first opportunity when we decided to come back into the wrestling business. So Elite Pro Wrestling is one of the OG backers. We love Elite Pro Wrestling so much. They are putting on incredible shows every single month. You should absolutely be there, whether it be in Odin, Indiana, Washington, Indiana. We would love to see you in the crowd there at Elite Pro Wrestling for every single thing that you need to know about EPW. Head on over to eliteprofessionalwrestling.com. There you are going to find dates, events, links, everything that you need to know about EPW. Thank you so much for being a day one sponsor, EPW. We very much appreciate it. This episode is brought to you by Yoo-Hoo, a product of Keurig Dr. Pepper. So here's what I want you to picture right now, right? You're on a long road trip, you're driving along, and you're thinking, man, I could really go for a nice, sweet, refreshing drink. You pull into a gas station, and the first thing you see is Yoo-Hoo. And I gotta tell you, grabbing that Yoo-Hoo, that's going to be the right decision every single time. Yoo-Hoo is available in a variety of flavors, vanilla, strawberry, but here at MadBash, our personal favorite is chocolate. I'm going to tell you about Yoo-Hoo a little bit more, right? We absolutely love this stuff here at MadBash. We cannot get enough of it. And you know what? We're going to sweeten the pot a little bit here thanks to Yoo-Hoo. If you see us at a wrestling show and you buy a MadBash wrestling sticker, you are entitled to one free bottle of Yoo-Hoo on MadBash Studios. Limit one per customer while supplies last. Now, come on, guys. You can't beat that deal with a stick. Again, MadBash would like to thank Yoo-Hoo so much for sponsoring this episode. They were trying to be so edgy with WWF.com. Download this. Because I noticed it on my way, or when Rhino was on his way to the ring, I noticed the WWF download this sign that was hanging above
their weekly show. Bite this.
Yeah. Bite this was not out yet, I don't think. You're getting ahead of yourself, man, with a lot of this
I'm just
booking.
going back with what WWF.com was at the time.
Dude, I remember, you don't see it anymore, but like Stone Cold Steve Austin, like it would say, the nameplate would say Stone Cold Steve Austin, StoneCold.com, The Undertaker, TheUndertaker.com, Chris Jericho, Y2J.com, like just shit like TheRock.com.
And it would just take them to pages of the WWF.com site.
Yeah. I used to go, it was my homepage.
I remember dial-up when like WWF.com like first became like a big deal.
And it would crash.
They'd be like, come download these exclusive wallpapers. And I'd be like, oh, I need exclusive wallpapers.
Meanwhile, 2 days later.
3 days later.
Yeah. Speaking of exclusive wallpapers, patreon.com/MadBash Studios. We've got some phone wallpapers over there for you. Going to be some desktop wallpapers at some point, too. So anyway, Michael Madrox claims that he is pissed off about this match, and I would like to know why.
Because the Undertaker came out the Limp Bizkit.
But he wasn't rolling.
Why does he get Limp Bizkit, but we don't get the X Factor, bro?
You know, because you're dealing with the X Factor. That is weird. That is weird. I also don't remember that, like, during this time period, like, Taker was not riding a bike to the ring. Like, he was walking to the ring, and he had Sarah with him, by the way. Sarah's ringside with him.
It would change it up. He'd ride sometimes.
Yeah. Boy, these two are just fucking throwing bombs at each other. This is just a slugfest is all this is. Like, they're laying it fucking in. Taker's beating the dog piss out of Rhino. Rhino's beating the dog piss out of The Undertaker. This is just, honestly, I'm going to say it right now. This is my match of the night. This is my match of the night.
Agree.
This is fucking good, dude. This, and you notice the placement of this match. This is at the top of the second hour. The top of the
before Warzone.
The top of the second hour is always when they would put on what they think is their best match. And I agree with him, man. There's just some good back and forth in this match.
It was nice seeing pre-suicidal Tim White out there reffing it.
Yeah. Yeah, you remember the lunchtime
Speaking
suicides?
of WWF.com.
Yeah, that was a WWF.com short. Yeah,
Yes,
the
sir.
lunchtime suicides. DDP starts slowly making his way to the ring because he's stalker DDP right now.
Sarah out there looking like a fresh throat tattoo.
Man, the finishing sequence of this match was so good. Rhino comes in for the gore. Taker puts up that big boot. Rhino runs right into that big boot. Oh, Taker fucking hits him with the goozle. Choke slam. 1, 2, 3. But meanwhile, DDP's on the outside kind of stalking after Sarah. Taker gets aggressively out of the ring to go attack DDP. He does that gimmick where he like flips over the top rope. And it was like, you're in hot pursuit of this man that's trying to kidnap your wife.
Let's do it with pizzazz.
Yeah, we got to put pizzazz on it. So this segment is really weird for me because it felt like I think someone forgot their spot. So what happens is they start, he gets a hold of DDP. They start fighting. They brawl into the crowd, get back on the outside. Taker throws DDP into the ring and then starts hitting him with some stomps, gets out, gets a chair. Sarah starts stomping DDP in the corner and like Taker can't get her off of him. But like, they beat down DDP for a really long time. Like, I think, again, someone missed their spot.
I think Sarah overdid it.
I think Sarah, yeah, she got a little bit overzealous, and she took a little bit too long.
She was taking her time, brother.
Well, she was probably fucking nervous because what was about to happen to her. So DDP is down. Taker swings for the fucking fences with the chair. DDP pulls Sarah right on her back.
Talk about timing, though.
My God, the timing of it. Taker hesitated a little bit.
You know what my problem with the whole segment was? Taker's face. He didn't seem to care that he and his wife.
No,
he was like,
really did it.
He's
Yeah.
like, this is payback, bitch.
It was a fucking accident. Yeah. I didn't mean to do it.
Can we just like say like DDP, WCW, the blue jean pants,
self high five,
the t-shirt coming out there, you know, heel DDP now. WWF's like, let's just get him in some black jeans and a belt from Hot Topic. That will show he's heel.
Well, that's how everyone dressed back then. Are you kidding me? That's just what it is. But yeah, DDP powders. Taker again, like he hesitated a little bit. It looked like the timing was a bit off, but my God, did he cream her in the back with this fucking chair? Like pop, like bad. Go to commercial, come back. They show a replay of it. Taker is now holding Sarah in the back and will not let EMTs come near her. And he's like, come on, girl. Wake up, girl. Come on, Sarah.
My favorite part of this whole segment are the EMTs are just standing there awkwardly, and Taker keeps walking towards them and then going, get away from her. They're pulling her back.
They're just standing there.
It's like they blew their spot.
Then DDP is running. Jonathan Coachman tracks him down.
God.
This is the epitome of everything that was wrong with DDP in the WWF.
It was so great, though.
Promo right here, but Coach asked DDP, why would you do that to Sarah? Oh, bro, I didn't want to do that to Sarah, to see the fear in her eyes. I didn't want to see Sarah get hurt, but, you know,
seeing that pain on her face,
it did turn me on. And it's just like, oh, there's like, you sick son of a bitch. Like the JR just thinks he's just disgusted. Then DDP gets in his rental car and leaves. Now we have a match that on paper that I really stand by if given the right placement and given the right time and given
this
the
could have
right
been match of the month.
This could have been match of the year. This is pay-per-view quality match. We have Chris Jericho versus Kanyon. Wow. Jericho comes in with a mic in his hand. He says, every Jerichoholic is better than Kanyon, baby. So then he's going around the ring and he's like, so what's your name? Who you here see? Who you here see? Who you here see? He says to him, so what's your name? My name is Kevin. Okay. Well, you're better than Kanyon. What's your name? Oh, my name is so-and-so. Well, you're better than Kanyon. He does like 3 or 4 people. About that time, Kanyon's music hits. They start brawling on the outside. He's still wearing his Invasion MVP shirt. Jericho throws him into the ring. The match is now officially started. And then you just witness, honestly, technical masterpieces. Like these two just back and forth, man. It was so good.
You know I'm a big mark for the Kanyon bomb.
Yeah.
That was the most beautiful Kanyon bomb I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, Kanyon hits the Kanyon bomb on Jericho for a 2 count. Before that, Jericho hits the 3 amigos. That popped me. I thought that was pretty cool. Man, there is such a good falsie in this match, and it's not even the Kanyon bomb. So Jericho, he gets on top. He comes off with a lion salt. Kanyon puts the knees up. Jericho eats the knees. Kanyon grabs him, hits the damnedest flatliner. 1, 2, kick out. It's like, oh man, it had me. I was like, fuck, that would have been a good finish. But the finish, again, this is what I'm like. This is how fluid this was, how well this flowed together. Like, you're seeing one of the most underrated wrestlers of all time and one of the greatest wrestlers of all time are in the ring right now, and they're doing this shit. Making magic. Kanyon goes for a kick. Jericho catches it. Enziguri ducks, walls of Jericho. Kanyon taps out. Great finishing sequence.
I just booked a MadBash match in my head.
Who is it?
Based off this match. Chris Cutler versus Shank Barzini.
What's that? I don't see how those two relate.
The greatest of all time and the underdog. The most underrated.
Oh, okay. Fair point. Yeah, Shank is the GOAT.
You don't think that'd be a good match?
I never said it would, but I'm just like, I don't see how you're making the comparison of Jericho and Kanyon.
Jericho, Shank, Kanyon is Cutler.
Michael Madrox for a split second forgot not to move the mic away from his mouth when he's talking. Started doing talking with your hands.
Talking. Yeah, I'm getting into it, brother.
Limousine pulls up, and there's only one person that can be Michael Madrox. God damn, pal.
Yeah, Vince McMahon finally shows up for work 15 minutes before it's time to clock out. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So Vince is here, and he doesn't look upset, but he's got that look on. He's doing that Vince walk. Yeah,
I
want to come out here. I'm concerned because we're losing the siege. Oh, but I got a surprise for everyone coming up here soon. The Fram Slam of the week. Fram oil filters.
It's better to pay more now than pay more later.
A memory was fucking unlocked with that phrase right there. Fram Slam of the week. It's essentially just Stone Cold turning. They just highlight Stone Cold's turn. That's their little highlight. We come back and you've got no chance.
That's what you got. Oh, wait, different song.
Vince coming to the ring. He essentially says what everyone has been saying all night. He's like, yeah, we may have lost Invasion. We lost that battle.
We lost the WCW, ECW alliance. But WWF is going to win the war, pal.
We're going to win in the end. You stole Stone Cold. That's like dropping an atomic bomb. Well, I'm going to drop one of my own.
I'm going to drop a nuke.
And we're going to have nuclear war. I'm bringing back The Rock. It's a huge fucking pop. I'm reinstating The Rock.
Reinstating The Rock. He can't guarantee The Rock will come back.
Yeah, that's what was so funny about it. He's like, yeah, I'm going to reinstate him. I'm going to bring him back from this suspension. But I can't guarantee that he's going to come back. But
maybe if we announce it on TV, he'll have no choice.
Pretty much. What I want to know is that, can The Rock still bring it? Big pop. Can The Rock still layeth the smacketh down? Big pop. Can The Rock still insert catchphrase here? Big pop. So I did some research. I was trying to figure out why The Rock was suspended. Really, he was out and he was filming the Scorpion King, so the Scorpion King opens with "We have killed Mesopotamians. We have killed." No, if you want to hear me recite the entire plot of Scorpion King, check out 2 weeks ago's Paid show. Pretty fucking good one. So yeah, The Rock was out filming Scorpion King during this time. We thought it was The Mummy 2, but it was Scorpion King. I did a little bit of research ski. But he was kayfabe suspended because of attacking Vince McMahon. Because after WrestleMania 17, Rock got suspended. It was so he could get written off TV to go
film
the Scorpion King, which, man, love the Scorpion King. Love it, love it, love it.
Scorpion King or the Invasion pay-per-view.
So we go to break and we come back, and Kurt Angle is in there with Vince saying, "You need me, Vince. You need me to be the leader. You need me to do this, blah, 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 blah." And Vince says, "I'm going to tell you right now, Kurt, actions speak louder than words."
Have you been drinking?
Yeah. Have you been drinking? So then about that time, Angle pushes him up against the wall, and he's like, "Well, I'm going to show you action, blah, 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 blah,
Vince
blah."
has been dominated 2 nights in a row now.
Pushed up against the wall. Go now to WWF New York, where the Big Show and Billy Gunn. Wrong Billy. They are enjoying dinner rolls and water.
As they're just insulting each other.
Yeah, it starts off, they're just like, they're talking about like, man, we're the reason that everything went so well last night. If it wasn't, they would have put us in the inaugural brawl, we would have won. We won our match. And they open up the menu and they're looking at it. And then they just start insulting each other. And I don't know what the point of this segment was.
To show that they're a tag team and becoming good friends.
Sure. So Kurt Angle, Big Show. What is happening to me right now? Big Show, he basically, he gets called fat by Billy Kidman. So then Big Show
Billy Gunn, Dickie.
Billy Gunn.
Do your homework.
I did do the homework. Billy Gunn calls him fat. So then Big Show orders a salad. Now it is time for what I really thought was going to be the -7 of the night. The spanking match. Trish Stratus versus Tori Wilson.
You see, this is my -7, though.
I'm going to say this, though, man. Considering the time period and considering like what they did with women's wrestling, this match is really not that bad.
Oh, dude, it's horrible.
I've seen worse.
You've seen a tag team brawl panties match the night before?
Which was worse. So the paddle is up on a pole because there are still some remnants of old WCW booking.
Judy was not there, though.
Judy Bagwell was, in fact, not there. Like I said, man, this match really wasn't that. I mean, I'm not calling it.
This is the best way to break it down. 11-year-old me watching this match.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, this is awesome. 34-year-old me watching this match. What the fuck is this shit?
No, I agree with you. It was very much a what the fuck is this shit? But it again, I don't think it was terrible.
I hate pole matches set up with this.
Yeah,
gimmick.
pole matches. I don't like pole matches.
Like if you get the thing from the pole, you should win in my eyes. Like in a flag match, you get the flag down, you win the match. You get the paddle down, you should be the only one able to use the damn paddle. Like how the fuck does Tori Wilson still go on to win?
Yeah. Because she used the paddle.
-7, bro. Too WCW for me.
Yeah, I can see that.
This is the most WCW thing the Alliance angle has done so far.
So far. Shane McMahon is in the back now, and he is hyping up the troops for the tables match. Stone Cold's hyping them up. Booker T is doing this weird warm-up where he's like shaking his ass. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Really fucking funny. So it is now time for the main event. The Dudleys and Booker T.
Team 3D and G.I. Bro, baby.
Versus Kurt Angle, Edge, and Christian. And this is the weird sunglasses era of Edge and Christian.
I love those sunglasses.
I do,
I wanted a pair of those with a JBC Boombox 3006.
And a beanie.
And a beanie. You know how it is.
Yeah. And some Birdman Uggs. Rock the streets, homie.
Yes, sir.
We love it. Not a lot to really. I mean, this is a good match, actually. I mean, Devon.
It was a good popcorn match.
Yeah, it was again. Thank you again. I broke that too. I said this was a popcorn match, and I think that a lot of main events for Raw during this time period were popcorn matches, and there's nothing wrong with that. I enjoy a good popcorn match.
It still continues like this day and age on like the big shows.
Yeah, so it starts out with Devon and Kurt. For some reason, there's tags in this match, which I don't know why there would be.
Anything goes match.
Yeah.
It only lasts like for the first 5 minutes of the match.
Yeah, which here's another thing too. Did you notice that I'm going to be doing research on this era a little bit more. At this point, have they stopped calling Edge and Christian brothers?
No.
Because JR just refers to them as tag team partners. And I was like, that's weird that they wouldn't just say the brothers, Edge and Christian.
They couldn't have, because when they turned on each other, they made it a big point, brother versus brother.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm just taking like one little thing out of context and like thinking that, there was more to it.
Dude, it's WWF 2000s. Like they would drive any point home at random times during anything.
It's funny that you said 5 minutes, because I literally have written down after about 5 minutes, there's a "We want tables" chant. So then that's the sign of let's start doing tables. Christian is the first one eliminated with a 3D through the table. So now it is down to just Christian and Kurt Angle versus
that table broke.
That table broke. Foreshadowing, guys. More wrestling, and then Booker T eliminates Edge with a spine buster through the table.
That table broke.
So now we've got 3-on-1, man. Kurt is doing his damnedest to fight back. There's tables all over the outside. There's a couple in the ring. Kurt Angle ends up getting the better of them, gets on the outside with Devon, and does the most sketchy-looking release German suplex to Devon Dudley onto the table.
Doesn't break.
Notice I said onto the table. It does, in fact, not break.
You know what pissed me off about this? Up until this point, they were still tagging in and out. Devon was not legal.
Oh, shit. I
Psychology out the window already.
Smell a conspiracy. So they run the spot back. German suplex, release German through the table. Boom, Devon Dudley is eliminated. So then they get in the ring, and they're going at it again. Kurt Angle gives Booker T an Olympic slam onto a table.
These tables keep blowing Kurt's spots.
And it does not break. Where do these come from? The Dudleyville Lumber Company? That's the Dickie Wabash ass call of the night.
Yes.
That is Jim Ross being the fucking GOAT and just saying, trying to say that these tables are fucking rigged so that WCW guys won't go through them. That is smart storytelling right there.
Cover your shit.
So then Bubba gets in the ring, and you can tell that he then takes over and is explaining how to get the table to break. You can just see that he starts directing traffic.
Yes.
And he's like,
you
okay,
gotta fucking slam him.
yeah. Then he props the table in the corner, and then Kurt throws Booker through the table, which I thought, again, it was funny because you could tell Bubba Ray was the one that took the initiative to be like, I'm going to break this fucking table. So then Booker's eliminated. It's now down to Bubba and Kurt.
I don't understand this. Maybe you could help me. Why the hell do we need a ref bump in a no DQ match?
I got to get Nick Patrick out there, man.
God.
So they bump Earl Hebner. Then here comes Nick Patrick, just moseying his way on down to the ring. And JR took the need to mention how much of a no good piece of shit that Nick Patrick was.
This was totally the WCW portion of the show. You got the pole match and then this bullshit.
Yeah. So then Nick Patrick is in the ring. Kurt Angle goes for an angle slam on Bubba. Nick Patrick moves the table. Boom, just straight up Olympic slam. So then Kurt Angle just starts fucking up Nick Patrick, takes him over to the announce table, puts him in an ankle lock. Here comes Stone Cold. Stone Cold runs in, starts beating up Angle. Him and Bubba get the better of Kurt, throw him into the ring. Stone Cold sets up the table so that Bubba can then powerbomb Kurt through the table. Boom. They lose the match. About that time, locker room clears out again. They powder, run through the crowd, and everyone is checking on Kurt. Are you okay? Are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. And then the show cuts in the most this era of Raw way ever. Just Jim Ross yelling, which is
Always.
I stand by. If my Raw doesn't end with Jim Ross losing his fucking mind and yelling,
I don't want to watch it.
then it's not my Raw. Not my
Somebody
Raw.
should have checked on Nick Patrick, though, dude. Because you know when you get put in an ankle lock on top of an announce table, it adds 47 to the pain. I'm just throwing it out there.
That is such weird. Like it's that like the time that Sheamus did that fucking knee drop gimmick to Orton on the steel steps. It's like, why? Why?
It adds to the pain.
Yeah, it adds to the pain. I don't know, man. What do you think of this Raw?
I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. I mean, it was okay.
I'm there with you.
It was okay. It was nothing special.
It was just a Raw.
It was a popcorn Raw.
It was a popcorn Raw. I think it did a good job of continuing the story, though. I think that, again, right now, the Invasion is still really good. Like, the Invasion is still, like, to me, firing on all cylinders. Like, it's like that, you know, Stone Cold is, like, now fully heel. And he's like, oh, I'm just a piece of shit. People don't like me anymore. And, you know, then you got, you know, you had at Invasion, you had WCW and ECW obviously came out on top, but it's still continuing here on Raw because, like, they lost the IC title and the WWF title, but still they lost the IC title. And that's a pretty prestigious title still.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it might be a mid-card title by definition, but it's still a really important title. And especially in the history of
That's
WWF.
why they should have never let Albert win it. Just throwing it out there.
That was a weird time.
Very
weird
European
time.
Matt Hardy, baby.
He's so European. Yeah, I give it a 2 out of 5. I give it a 2.5.
I think this is
Out of
the most we agreed on one show.
Yeah, it was solid. I didn't hate it. I actually really enjoyed it. I didn't dread watching this one. Like,
No.
not that I have ever dreaded anything that we've watched. But no, this was a really good one. This was solid. I mean, but again, it sucks because you know what's coming. And what's coming is the Invasion is about to shit the bed. Because so many people jump ship, it's just confusing.
It's when the WWF guys start jumping ship to me. It's like, why?
Yeah, because they want to do these stories, but it's like, oh, well, naturally, the only way you can be a heel is by joining the alliance.
And
But
like, I hate the people that are like, well, it's because they didn't have enough WCW or ECW guys.
yeah, they did. They just didn't use them.
Exactly. Like, Regal could have turned and went back to WCW. He's from there.
Jericho.
To Jericho.
I
like-
would have rather seen Jericho join the alliance than fucking Christian.
Yeah.
Or-
Fucking
Angle
could have had ties in with the ECW shit because he appeared with them first.
If I appear on TV with that crucifixion, you will hear from my lawyer. I didn't have a problem with it when Stone Cold Steve Austin was fucking.
Stretch it up, Stephanie.
That's what I think about that one. Kurt.
What a weird time.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It was a good Raw.
Speaking of weird time, did you get a sign of the night?
Did I? Yeah, probably the big veto sign.
Really?
Just a big veto sign. That was my sign of the night.
My sign of the night also goes back to a former WCW worker.
Which is?
Vince Fears Vamp.
Oh, I didn't see that
yeah.
one. That's a good one.
I saw it greatly during the brawl, or not the brawl and panties, but the spanking match.
It's all comes
That was
out
what I was
wash.
focusing on during the spanking match.
It's all
That tells you
I
anything.
was literally, I don't even think I looked at the TV during, like, I mean, obviously I did look at it because I was watching, because I don't think it was that bad of a match, but it was just one of those ones where it was a look down at the phone ski a little bit, but. Well, all right, guys, that is going to do it for this edition of the Spot Show podcast. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. Thank you a whole bunch for all of the support that you have been giving us. Let us know what you guys want to hear more of. Do you want to hear more of us shooting the shit? Do you want to hear more topics? Do you want to hear more retro reviews? Let us know. Let us know. We're here to build this with you. We say it all the time, you know what I mean? And it's not lip service. We actually really fucking mean that. We're here to do this shit with you guys. Again, madbashstudios.com. That's going to give you links to our YouTube, to every podcasting platform that
every
we are
social
on.
media.
Every social media, the Facebook page. You know, we're really popping on Facebook. We've had a lot of engagement on Facebook because of Ascend the Throne.
By the way, be sure to reach out and congratulate insert name here.
Yeah,
they worked very hard for that win.
Yeah, be sure to let know how you feel about them being the new MadBash Wrestling champion. The tournament can go anyway. I look at all 4 of these guys and I'm like, they could do it. So, we'll see what happens. Obviously, you've seen it, you know about it, but as of right now, we do not. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and get off here, guys. You can find me on Instagram at DW_mischievous_rabbit. Madrox, you can find him on the side of the road selling
with Colby.
With Colby selling Uncle Cracker bootleg CDs.
Oh, that's a great idea.
No, it is not. So, all right, gang, we'll see you on the next one. We'll see you on Paid Ski as well.